Okay, now so I link it to this chapter. The chapter basically says that this is a story of a guy who's making his living by editing the Ladies' Home Journal, and he says that I lost my father when I was very young, and it was true that I was born to well-to-do parents, but when I was 6 years old, I lost my father, and faced the same crunch when I was 45 in a strange country without even necessities and stuff. And I realized that I did not know a single word of the English language. I'd gone to a public school and I'd learned what I could. And the boys in my school were very cruel, and the boys and the teachers were impatient and tired and mostly screaming on us. And my mother, who had always had servants at her back end call, faced the problems of housekeeping that she had never learned or had not been taught. And of course, at some point, there was no money. And then she says, after school hours, my brother and I went home, not to play, but we went to work and do a part time job. And we would basically come back in the evening and we would try and learn, words and languages at our age to converse and speak in English. And he says, as I did that, I got my first job, and I got the first job of washing the windows of a baker's shop at 50 cents a week. And in a week, I sold off most of the bread and cakes, and I became a hero in the eyes of my shop owners. And then he says, I lived in Brooklyn, I shifted, and the chief means of transportation there was a horse car. And he says that, on Saturday afternoons and Sundays, I would basically participate in a second job there, and I became a reporter after I'd basically picked up some good English and I'd done some course and got some experience and stuff like that. And then he says that my correspondent would say that she supports a family of husband and child, and they were only on $800 a year. And he says, I never knew what she was talking about because it was normally on less money and stuff like that. And that's where we were taught, and we were, this whole concept of purpose was introduced to us, which we didn't have in our life. And because our family was just living the way they had been living throughout their ancestral journey, none of us kind of got to learn anything different. And unfortunately, life took a different turn and stuff. And I realized that I had to have a purpose, and I basically had to kind of think of what I wanted to do, not just for myself, but for other people and stuff. And this is what poverty taught me, that the greatest blessing that can come in the way is to basically be a part of a condition that works for everybody and not just for me. And he says, this is where I also learned the attribute of self control. And he says that by developing self control, I realized that I had my own personal power, and I could very comfortably participate in the law of retaliation and the law of being a rebel, and retaliate to anything or everything that went wrong. However, I participated in being a person of self control, and that got me my first big opportunity where I basically got a big break to work for a big brand, and my life changed after that. So there's so many of us who've been through that journey. I mean, I remember my first job. I used to travel like 2.5 hours, probably in those days by the Mudrika, or we don't have the metros and stuff like that. And we did like half the distance I would walk, and half the distance I would like, take an auto, and I would kind of hitch with my friends and stuff like that. And I remember going through the same course of this, of doing a part-time job and picking up all these uh, pocket money things at Pragati Maidan, and also working for some exhibitions at hotels and stuff like that. And believe me, none of us thought that we were struggling at that point of time. Maybe it came across as we did struggle because, we just come in from a new city to Delhi, and people thought we were struggling, but actually, we had a blast before that because we were posted to different countries and we were enjoying the perks of the other cities and being in the defense forces and stuff like that. But of course, I mean, as I lost my dad pretty early in life, we also felt a similar kind of a pinch as to how things have gone in the lives of this boy. And if I were to reflect back and look at my journey, I think I kind of rose from that, because I still meet people who are at 50s or 52 who still say that they are still struggling and they're not able to come out of. The whole concept of struggling. Like, I met a lady who's an ex airlines person, and she's now working for a hotel, but she still feels at 52 she's struggling, though she's getting the monies and everything. So I guess feeling rich, or feeling that you have a quality life, or feeling blessed even when you have less, is actually a state of mind, and it's the way you see it. And I learned this, when I watched that movie again, Tare Zameen Pe, and when I do my drumming and stuff like that. And when you look around, you see people are going through so much. You'll realize, you'll realize that you're probably more blessed and stuff. And many people, reality again, have gone through, corona messes, and they're still reviving themselves and stuff like that. And they have children to look after. They have bills to pay, and of course they have some of them have been through divorces and stuff, and some of them are still trying to come to terms with the fact that they had plenty of cars, and now they have to kind of manage one single car or two cars and stuff. Many people have shut down shops and they've gone into new offices and stuff. Other people are doing good stuff like picking up jobs, and they've kind of written books and stuff, and they are contributing in some way or the other by doing charity or participating in certain bigger goals and themselves and stuff like that.